Welcome back, guys, or if this is your first time watching one of my videos, hi, my name is Franco. Currently working on a game called Block Miner, and I have been for the last 2 years. So in the last video, I talked about reworking the presentation for Block Miner. The first 2 years of development were spent, one, learning the Godot engine, prototyping like a ton, and then actually developing all the systems and mechanics. It's time to give the game a bit more life. In the demonstration I showed in the last video, you could see that there was a ton of animations that were missing. I didn't play any of the sound from that footage. I think there's only probably like 2 sound effects in the game currently. So there's a ton of work to be done for the art and sound of the game. So yeah, I created a to-do list here of all the things that I would like done by the end of the next few videos. We'll see. Reworking the presentation really is like all about just trying to improve like the feedback for the player, so that they have an enjoyable experience when playing the game. So let's get started on these items. I started with the block animations first, specifically when a block gets drilled by the player. The player can break blocks they're standing on with their drill, but without an animation, they simply pop out of existence. When creating any new block animation, I found it's best to start with the most basic block first, that way I have a template for the other blocks. It didn't take long for me to knock out something decent, so afterwards I moved on to the rest. To further enhance the experience of drilling blocks, I took the time to create a sound effect for the drill itself. I used various things around my house to create this sound without having to use any kind of drill. I think the final product turned out pretty great. Returning the sound design like outside of a musical context was like pretty nice, so I'm looking forward to working on the rest of the sounds. The next animation on the list was for chain reactions. This is probably one of the most important animations for the game because it does a lot in terms of player feedback and satisfaction. For this animation, I struggled the most with the TNT block with like the explosion effect. I ended up pulling some references and tutorials from pixel artists that I like on social media. Just kind of followed their guide for creating like explosions and stuff like that, and basically did the best I could with the TNT block. In the end, seeing an animated chain reaction for the first time was super satisfying, and it got me thinking about the other ways I could enhance the experience of a chain reaction. Still on the topic of chain reactions, I was finally able to address a piece of criticism I got from playtests of Block Miner. Matching gemstone blocks will sparkle to indicate that they are chaining, but to actually know how many blocks are in your chain reaction is just a complete unknown. There is no indicator to tell you how many you've got. When the point of a game is to create a chain reaction with a certain number of blocks within a given time frame, having to point and count the blocks on your screen is probably the worst game mechanic you can have in your game. Chain reactions are calculated using an algorithm based on depth first search, starting from the TNT block and then moving through to adjacent blocks and any matching blocks. This algorithm only runs when the TNT block is about to blow up, so if I wanted the player to know how many blocks are in their chain reaction, I basically have to like run the algorithm every time there was a block update and only when TNT blocks are actually present. So that's exactly what I did. I'm still not sure how I want to present this value in the final game, but for now it's basically just displayed on the TNT block itself. Finally, one of the last things that I worked on as a result of all of these new animations being in the game, I had to tweak a scene that I called destroyed block scene. All the animations for each way a block can get destroyed and for every type of block is all contained in this one scene. So what I had to do to play the correct animation and correct type of block, I just created an enum with all the types of ways the block can get destroyed. So with that enum, I was able to just basically pass in the value when I instantiate the destroyed block scene, and then that way it plays the correct animation and with the correct block type. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I was really proud of all the work I was able to achieve these past 2 weeks. For those of you that follow me on other social media platforms, probably recognized a couple things that you saw in this video. I can already see the game starting to come to life. Playtesting it recently, and hearing the drill sound effects, seeing those chain reaction animations and all those things were just super satisfying, and it just gave me more excited for the rest of the animations and sound effects that I have to do. Of course, a lot of work. It's going to be challenging, but I'm really looking forward to what's to come, and I hope you guys are too. Thanks again for watching, guys. Like, subscribe, and please follow me on other social media platforms for more updates. Thank you.